Welcome to my... Okay, this video is called Quarantine, and this is why we do what we do. If you look around this room, these tanks all have copper in it except for that system, which is inverts, and of course these systems which are inverts and other things, experiments in fresh water. I just got off the phone with Adrian. He's a very nice young man. He got some fish from his buddy, put them in his tank. He now has a clownfish left, one trigger, which apparently is a horse, and he may have lost everything else, okay? He bought crazy old man Don's tank, moved it up to Alliston, and doesn't know how to put it back together. So he's hoping that he can take his coral, leave him in his show tank for 3 months, 90 days. No fish whatsoever, the parasites will die off. They need a host. He's going to set up crazy old man Don's tank as soon as he figures out how he's having troubles. Because Don had it taken apart to help save him time. And he's going to set that up, put copper safe in it for 3 weeks, and then take the copper out because copper does destroy part of your immune response. If you look on these systems here, we have copper on them. We also have UV sterilizers on them. Okay? That's to cut down on the bacteria, because otherwise you start getting bacterial infections in your angels. And
Popeye, which is why there's a coma down there.
Tangs, get some stuff. Anyhow, there's another person, Anna something, is emailing me. She can't keep powder blue tanks alive because they get the ick every time she puts them in her tank. No, she has the ick in her tank. She has to take all fish out of that tank. Didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, please, 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 please start quarantining your fish. I had so many people, they phoned me, they're so sad. They either got a fish cheap from their buddy and they put it in their tank. The one guy told me his friend said, do not quarantine powder blue tanks because they are delicate, and if you quarantine them, they will die. No, your quarantine system must be as good a filter, if not better, than your main tank. But this is a constant source of stress and sorrow to me. They do have medicines to kill ick in a reef tank. They don't work, okay? I have had occasions where I have got a new customer, they have ick in their tank. We go through 6 months. 6.
9, 7, and then 6.
6 months of constant kick ick, weird ick X, marine ick X, everything. Garlic does not work. There's never been a study showing any efficacy of garlic to control ick. The only thing that works is to never put the ick in there. Ick does not magically appear from cold water. Ick does not magically appear from stress, from dirty water. It is an animal that must be put in there. Now, if you bring a fish home and it gets ick, it did not necessarily have ick. The fish in the tank could live with a low level of ick for many years. We had a guy, he brought a fish to the store. He had said, oh, I've had it for years, I got no ick. We put it in a tank that did not have copper. 2 days later, it was covered in ick because it got stressed out from the move. So then we had to copper that entire system. If you copper your live rock, they still will act as a biological filter. Nicest amount of nitrobacter, ick, copper, it don't kill them. But they're no longer live rock that have any organisms, microorganisms for breaking down other things. You're not going to get any little plants. You're not going to get nothing out of it. Oh, you get the plants, they'll be get killed by copper. But please, quarantine your fish. Tell all your friends to quarantine their fish. The stores, unless they have a huge setup with no rent, they cannot afford to quarantine your fish for you. The best they can do is have copper in their system. And if you're willing to pay for the fish, you can leave the fish there for 3 weeks. That will mean you don't have any ick, because if they got copper in their system and that fish is in copper solidly, it doesn't matter if you had a new fish or not. As soon as the ick parasite hatches and the trophons goes, that's what they call baby ick, trophons, goes swimming, they die, okay? If you got ick on your fish, copper will not kill it. If you have ick in the cyst, like it makes a cyst, falls off, multiplies within the cyst, becomes a whole bunch more, then breaks open the cyst and goes free swimming. Free swimming is the only time you can kill them. If you take a fish and you lower it to between 1.010 and 1.011, that's called hyposalinity. The ick parasite cannot live in that little 1 degree window. If you leave your fish in there too long though, they will develop kidney disease because saltwater fish, they drink all the time and they pee out really concentrated salt. If you have them in fresh water, they don't drink anywhere near enough, or some other mechanism, I don't really understand, but your fish will die from kidney failure. So don't do that for any length of time. Corals don't like it either, so you can only do it when you got fish only. What we use here is copper safe. Sure, it's a little hard to get. We have to bring it in from the States because one company bought another company and they only want the cat and the dog stuff. They don't want the fish stuff, so they don't bring in the fish stuff anymore and they won't let another guy bring it in. So I just get it from Buffalo. Copper safe, if you have crushed corals and live rocks or dead rocks, copper safe will be absorbed into the rock, and if you get a sudden pH drop, it will come back all at once. And all of a sudden that safe level of copper is up here and everybody dies. Because copper will kill fish too. Okay? But please, tell your friends to quarantine their fish. Have a separate tank. Some people say, oh, my wife won't let me have a separate tank. Be nicer to your wife. Then she's going to let you do stuff. Or tends to let me do anything I want. Not that I ever asked. Anyhow, please, quarantine, quarantine, quarantine. I can read you so many horror stories. People who lost...
And if it didn't matter to quarantine, we wouldn't have set up all of this just to do so. I mean, this is a lot of work for good reason.
Yeah, quarantine is expensive on the part of the retailer. That's why
nobody does it.
Like we have the back room, we have this, we have that, but we also have coffins and corpses. You know, it's some good, some bad. Okay? Thank you. Bye.